you for recognizing that, David, because at times it feels like we're an outsider, but we know from a soul perspective we're not. We're all, we've all got this ancestry that goes way back, whether we incarnated as Tuatha or in the Celts or the Druids. And I don't know, when you come to Ireland, it feels like home. Like, I can't believe, like, when I ask, I've got 45% ancestry here, yet my family never told me that, but I knew. I've nearly cried at so many places. Like, the only thing I can liken it, the connection to the land here, was when I first birthed my daughter Elise, and I know other mothers will relate to this, that feeling of utter beauty to the point where your heart is bursting and you just want to cry and say how beautiful it is. Like, I had that moment down at Killarney, the national park at Ladies Lookout.
Oh, yeah, Ladies View, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it
yeah.
was,
That area is very, that whole South Kerry and Killarney, the two of the Dannon, the connection there, and Skellig Michael, where you've been as well. That area is just, it's like it is entering like into another world. Even for someone like me who doesn't have the same depth of connection that you guys have, anytime I've been down there, I don't want to leave. And Skellig Michael is I don't know if you did a video from Skellig Michael, but that place is, I think of all the places in Ireland for me that has the most, it's the most special for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, for a lot of us, David, it's a remembrance, star seeds, star beings, everyone on the calls of starseed. We've had millions of lifetimes, and during that course of millions of lifetimes, we've pretty much ended up in most of these sacred spaces, around the whole world and throughout the whole galaxy. So, when you consider if we've had millions of lifetimes, we've had thousands and thousands and thousands in each of these places over different areas of time.
Yeah.
And when AnSaRA and I, when we've been on this journey, we've really seen that a lot of the people that we've connected with, whether it's Skellig Michael, whether out walking in Scotland around grid point number 11, the elementals, it's like that connection that they have in their heart, not knowing why they have the connection, is because that's their land. That's where they're from. Their essence and soul is an aspect of the land, and that familiarity really comes forwards as star seeds and star beings now, and and the light workers and grid workers to come back now after putting our hand up thousands of years ago to say, yes, send us. We're come back and reactivate our beautiful angelic planet.
Well, I'm so delighted you're there, and I might say I don't want to hog the channel because I could talk to you guys all day, but you're in fairy, what I call fairy HQ for the world.
yes, thank you.
It is that area with Sligo. I don't know if you've heard of an Irish poet called W.B. Yeats. No. He founded the Golden Dawn. Oh, so much about the man. He was a poet, but he's also a magician. And the area that you're in it's called Yeats Country. So it's associated with him, and he lived there, and poetry from there, and he's buried there actually. He wrote an awful lot about Celtic folklore, and of course he was involved in a Hermetic order as well, which he founded. Yeah, so I've had experiences there myself with the Fae. In fact, in Beniscan, where you're there, I was with 5 shamans. I'll tell you this very quickly. About 10 years ago, and they made Eagle Rock, which I think it's on one of your pictures. They made it disappear. So we were actually driving around in circles. We were driving around in circles, and it wasn't there. And it was only when someone appeared on the road that whatever that loop we were in clicked us back out.
Wow.
I'll never forget it. So there's magic there. And if you connect, and if you, as you do, you'll get it back, and they'll play with you. That was my experience there. Very near to where you are.
I wished we'd started record from the moment you opened your mouth today, David, because it's really important. You're connecting everyone into this beautiful land because you're from here and with your accent. So I kind of feel like you've brought us all into the space, you know. So, and being a shaman and doing the work that you've done and sharing with us, just want to say a huge thank you. So what we might do is start record and just thank you, and perhaps.
We have been recording.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that. Oh,
That was probably when you fell off your seat.
Well, that might have been when I had to leap from the passenger side into the driver's side to put my foot on the brake when the car took off.
Can I say though, technically I'm not a shaman, but I did bring, not this time around anyway, but I did bring a lot of shamanic, many females actually from America who did an awful lot of work while you're here over a period of 3 or 4 years. And so we'd just like to acknowledge that and just acknowledge what you guys are doing too. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Because it's a building and layering process, isn't it? Like everyone's had a key piece to play in all of the work that has been conducted since the fall of consciousness to now to get us back to these stages again, to start to layer up, to activate, to reconnect, to harmonize, to activate into different dimensions and densities too. So it's it's big. It's making me go goosebumpy, truth bumpy talking about that with the rainbow beings and rainbow crowd and everyone that's been here before us in layering up so we can get this consciousness now to the point of activating our beautiful angelic planet.
Yeah. And I can remember being there the first time and it just like takes your breath away. It just does. And I can see it's so still there where you are. It looks like it is just magically still. There's no wind or...
No, it looks like one of those fake backdrops people put on the computer.
Yeah,
Except it's not. Yeah, people saying goosebumps. It is, and I know I can see Sana Mia. She's just like, so many of our crew, like Starseed Ascension School, that have been on our retreats, they're already working out how they would have climbed it already. So, you know, we've run retreats all around the world, and I know once we really get this planetary work, we have to do this on our own because we're speeding from place to place as you're following. Like, we don't have time for sightseeing. And so, yeah, but I can feel that we'll come back and run a retreat here in this beautiful land because it is just beyond awesome. And it's so compact that you can do so much like that compared to Australia. It's like amazing. So we'll get
and one little context to that the lands here for me feel so important because, like you were sharing, David, it really feels like it's the fairy and fae and elemental kingdom. And when we worked with them 18 months ago to come out of being frozen in time, all of the elementals and the fairies, you know, they were holding that aspect of 12th dimensional infinite pure love. And, you know, to be here in these sacred lands, working with them that held that stasis within our heart centers to help us remember about the love that we have and the orange part of the flame that sits within our heart centers, 12th dimension. And for me, it's a rejoice in that welcoming back for them being fully free now, coming out of stasis to come and work with us and to really be here and evident in the landmass has been tremendous here. It really, as you say, such an elemental place and such warm-hearted beings here too in Éire, like with nothing that I've really felt before. With the originals, yes, they have such a big open heart, but here it's a different layer of love and openness and welcoming too. Like we've been so welcomed on the journey and connecting with the locals and the wisdom keepers here. It's been truly, you know, really, really heartfelt by both of us.
Incredible, like enchanting land, enchanting people. Hello, Trish. Trish found us too, and on the ancient stone botherers, because we've been bothering lots of stones, but they like us bothering them. So thank you, Trish, for sharing and coming on. And everybody who's actually new, because we've got our beautiful Starseed Ascension members who have been on this journey forever with us. And just want to say a big thank you to anyone who managed to get on to this event this morning, because we need you
It
on
was a
this event.
miracle.
Yeah.
Made it.
It's because, you know, like having those people that are from the land, once we all come deeply in and we go on this guided activation, like when we do this healing at the Hill of Uisneach, which I used to say was Uisneach. Uisneach, I was corrected. We have a big healing piece, as we've discussed there, to really help clear the land and clear those that are here now with the Irish ancestry who are Irish, and of course the people that are all around the world with that genealogical history, because it still shows up in our genealogical family tree. And unwinding this pattern, we'll just see what happens. We know what it's like and where it is. And so we'll just kind of roll with the moment. Just take a breath in and just sit with that beautiful being space you've created by clearing yourself, clearing the lands. I saw us all riding on the back of beautiful Éire. And let's just check everybody's collective frequency. So it doesn't matter where we came in at. So let's just ask collectively what we're holding as an average. So we'll just start with the 3rd dimension, 5th dimension, 12th dimension. And remember, chakras are dimensional doorways. So when we're counting this, it's how many chakras you're embodying. 24th dimension, you've surpassed that. 48, doubles. 96, 128, 216, 512. So you've even cleared out your subconscious hard drive by clearing out those galactic Akashic records. 1,000, 2,000 dimensions, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 150, 200, 250, 500, 500, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. Wow, that's incredible, because we're all collectively holding, as a unified force of one, 4 million dimensions. And remember, that is within you, and your Merkaba sits around all of those dimensions, protecting them. They're all held within your Merkaba. And even under your feet is held within your Merkaba, so that you are protected. Well done, everyone. It's a very auspicious number. It's the number required now to connect with sacred sites and portals. That this is a very important raising of your frequency and learning how to hold it there. Okay.
Lower consciousness in connecting to the planetary stargates and portal systems under 4 million dimensions. People have a connection to those vortices, but to be able to affect the change that we're affecting on the planet at this time, people have to be able to be heart-centered, to be fully open, to be able to have left any of the pain or trauma that they've accumulated either in this life or any other life. So the 4 million is a consistent frequency that's been set in the different territories that have already been activated to 12th dimensional infinite pure love. So it means then that those beings that wish to continually evolve as a soul, because we're infinite beings of light, we can hold an infinite amount of densities. The 5th dimension, 5th chakra that has been spoken about is a distortion. We're immortal beings of infinite light, so we can hold an infinite amount of densities. But there had to be a level there where the consciousness of those coming and connecting into these sacred spaces must be held, that people can come into these spaces clear, open-hearted, grounded, have their vertical column of light, their hara tube fully open and expanded, that they know then if they're coming in to work with the portals and stargates on planet, that they're going to be advantageous in their work and not bring distortions into the planetary architecture that's going to affect all living and non-living life forms. So there's been a change, and there is an increment change in all of the territories around the whole planet, as they're all attaining 12th dimensional infinite pure love, which was our old angelic planet. We were a 12th dimensional infinite pure love planet. So the minimum requirement is being set territory to territory to enable those with an open heart to be able to connect, to be able to be in tune enough to be receptive of what the land, all sentient beings in that land require for their own individualized spiritual evolution and for that planet and all living and non-living life forms.
Thank you for anchoring that. I could just feel the resonance. In a way, a confirmation of all of us understanding that perhaps we're over these days of visiting sacred sites with unconscious people, not necessarily meaning to be that way, but being in the Great Pyramid of Giza and having people use it like a sideshow. It's just like been there, done that, seen it. And you're like, oh, like, where's your reverence for the sacredness of this site? So the sites are up leveling and upgrading, as we've seen in Ulumjabi, Australia, that if it says don't take a photo and a tourist takes a photo, the ancient elders will hurl black goo at them. That there really is a karmic cause and effect of ancient sites, which most of us have known because we've had the reverence for them. But because they're awake now, the dragons are awakening, the land masses are awakening, the ancient elders are able to step out of these portals with the work that we're all doing, that now they're able to step back into that space.
And there has to be a rite of passage and initiation to work with the portals and stargates on planet. Because we can't have every Tom, Dick and Harry coming into these spaces and affecting the consciousness of all of us beings on planet. It cannot happen. So there has to be a minimum requirement, and 4 million dimensions, densities, having a frequency of 4 million is that cut-off layer and level that we've seen that provides enough security for each and every one of us then to know that the impact that someone's going to be having planned in these spaces is going to be beneficial. People with a lower consciousness will have a feeling when they're in those spaces, but they won't be able to affect 8 billion people on the planet. So we can see that it's not a better than, but it's just a level of continually being masterful, continually tuning in with ourselves, continually evolving as a soul to deepen that connection, knowing that we are one and we don't want one person affecting everybody else. Because we've seen that as we've journeyed and travelled through Australia, Ulumjabi and New Zealand and through Egypt and into Scotland and the UK and here to Éire, that sometimes when we've been on these sacred sites, there have been other beings there that have held a lower consciousness, that haven't been angelic beings, that have been from a different star system and a different star galaxy, that are trying to affect the change of what we're doing here to bring the consciousness back to this planet. So those beings from different star galaxies and different star seeds, we're preventing them from affecting the ascension of all sentient beings on planet by having a minimum requirement of 4 million dimensions that they're holding.
And that may spark the question within you, well, how after this event, I didn't know, I knew I could be embodied and hold 7 chakras because that's embodiment. The news on this planet has been a distortion, 3D to 5D, and now you've discovered that the planet's going to 12D and that you are a multidimensional being who can hold an infinite amount of dimensions, and 4 million is quite a leap point. But just to reassure you, I will be sending you an email after this event just to give you some guidance around, well, how do I keep that frequency? Spiritual hygiene, activation, all of those things are in the Starseed Ascension School daily rituals. And spiritual hygiene would be the number one reason, and using universal law, a much higher frequency way of clearing your energy. We've surpassed the old ways of using sage and sound and like even the violet light. It's not powerful enough anymore, that we've opened ourselves up as infinite beings to the 4 corners of the universe, which means our light is brighter and there's many more beings that are also in those dimensional realms galactically. So Starseed Ascension School is really bringing to you a galactic cosmic level of clearing that's never been seen or used before. So we'd encourage you after the event to check out our 21-day free trial. And I never intended to do a sale pitch, but however, it is really imperative if you feel good after this event and you want to stay that way, just try the 21-day free trial, go do the daily rituals. And I will put a little bit more in the email about those major points that keep you at that frequency.
Okay, yeah, beautiful.
Right.
All right, let's bring up some of the slideshow and
Yeah,
go
maybe
through
stop
the
recording and
meditation.
start the slideshow. Welcome back, and let's just jump into a quick slideshow just to bring you into a bit more of the picture of just a little snapshot of where we've been and what we've been doing. We'll just let Ra bring that up. And you know, at the beginning of the call, we never even said, "Hi, I'm AnSaRA." And hi. You can say your hi in a minute. We're so excited to get going, weren't we?
Let's bring that up there. There we go. How do we do yours from the beginning here?
I think I'd leave that there on the left
Leave it
side and
okay.
just flick through it because we haven't used this computer for a slideshow before. So that was a beautiful photo we took yesterday, and I just said, "Hi, I'm AnSaRA." Did you want to say?
Oh, hello, I'm Ra.
Right, good that we got that.
So Ra and AnSaRA are our soul names. It's essence of who we are as a soul spirit. And when we start to move out of a name given to us by our parents, we can start to attune to that essence that we've carried through lifetimes. And recently my soul name changed from Samporna, that I had held for many, many years, probably 10 years, until we were in Egypt, and my soul name changed from Samporna to Ra, because I'd fulfilled the requirements of my soul name as Samporna, which was opening up densities of creation and of existence for us to experience ourselves in. And that piece was concluded for me in Egypt. And when I was playing in the energies and connecting to the pyramids and the rock formations and their sacred sites and temples, the rocks began to communicate with me and say, "Oh, Ra's back." And it took me some time then to readjust into that space of, well, who am I then as Ra? That aspect of source creator consciousness that comes from the purest aspect of heart, with one single attainable mission of supporting each and every one of us to access the 12th dimension from our heart centers and to resurrect the consciousness on planet. And that's my single focused task at the moment. That's who I am, which is why we're here. Living out the back of a car, traveling all four corners of the planet to reactivate our beautiful, dear angelic planet.
And it is pretty interesting, the full circle from being born as Robert Akut, then becoming Samporna, and then actually finding out that you're the embodiment of Ra and your initials were always Ra.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Yeah. Okay, let's bring this back up over here.
Yeah, so here we go. This is why David and everyone who's been following us on the Ancient Stone bother as well. We're bothering the group quite a lot because we've covered a lot of miles and we're so excited to share, and we love the people who love us sharing while we're live and on the go, because we don't want to hold back. We figure those that resonate with us will and those that don't won't. And so, yeah, we've covered in this new car we picked up in Yorkshire. Gosh, that was a trial and tribulation just to get from the very bottom point of England at Loo trains to get to the car, to then get to grid point number 11 in the Scottish Highlands, slept by a lock. And we'll save that for another day, but needless to say, we've brought the energies from Scotland across to Ireland, and we've been working on the two major grid point going through the centre of Éire, and here we're more connected to the other line coming on the outside. We'll show you that in a minute. But we just wanted to show you the footprint of Ben Bulben and the Glenelg horseshoe. You can see where we're sitting right now. And you can see the mother tree where it was sheared off And I'll just get Ra to come in, just give a brief history of the what we call the ancient, I call them giganton, ancient trees. I don't think that's new to any of us. We're seeing a lot of people sharing around the world about these beautiful big trees.
Yeah, so some beautiful conversations that Adam, who's on the call too,
Hi, Adam.
and hi Adam, that we had with Uncle Lewis, head of the Bundjalung mob of Aborigine in Byron Bay. The Aborigines call them soul trees or grandmother trees. And you can see like the top right corner here where we've got Mount Connor, its spiritual name Attila. Generally where we see a flat top mountain, when I tuned into the consciousness of these beings in and around 20 million years ago, at the beginning of the fall of consciousness, these trees were chopped. It was like they were lasered. They were severed to bring down the grid, the 12th dimensional grid that was holding up our beautiful angelic planet. So we see their remnants all around the world, like you can see top left corner over here. And when you start to really look at them and notice them, you can see that they are trees. It's like it's hard, isn't it, AnSaRA? Once you
can't unsee it.
No, you can't unsee it. And bottom right corner is Wilpena Pound, UVG grid point number 44, where we have 22 major ley line grid points all coming into that one point of that beautiful tree, Éire,
Very similar
Flips ranges.
here.
It is, yeah, they are absolutely ginormous. Like these spanned up into, 10, 12,000 feet, some of these trees. They were absolutely incredible and created a weather system and an eco environment around them. Like the top right at Northern Territory, Australia, and bottom left, Hatshepsut Temple in Egypt. These would have been subtropical environments, green and lush with water, with far much more beings and creatures and things around. Whereas when the tree is taken down, it changes the whole eco environment, like we see in South America and where there's an eradication of trees at the moment. But these grand old trees were holding up the consciousness around the planet. So we then have an opportunity to come back again to resurrect these trees, to bring them back into their organic life form.
So here's the grid point 11. Many of you might be familiar with it. And it's interesting that it was just directly on a mountaintop. And when Ra worked with that to clear it, there was a massive fight going on. A big black dragon came out. We had to send all our dragons in, call everyone in from the school with their dragons. And we've got that live on YouTube now. And it was really interesting because what he said was it was like there was a lotus, but it had been turned upside down, literally inverted. And so because of his consciousness and his ability to see, he was able to reconnect it. And then Kalimna, who's on the school as a soul, she holds the DNA for the star map. So he's able to call Kalimna in this way. It's so important we get to work with each other and know each other. And so then the lotus had to be aligned to the star maps, and then that boom sat it down beautifully flush with the upward current and reconnected grid point 11. So what's the chance, if we didn't have you come along, that grid point 11 could be taken back from the dark forces, turned up the right way, opened up like a lotus, and then all the energy starts shooting out. And we've had a lot of clearings on the churches here and the castles that were part of that distortion, and having to clear out every single castle and church. When someone asks me, oh, does, island sacred sites hold sacred energy? I said, yes, they do, but they're being blocked by, who, that wears the gold hat, and the Bell castle in Scotland. It was causing a lot of this distortion down into this land, and through the taking over of these castles from the Margie Grail kings in ancient times. And, they were literally land pirates, what they did here. And so, yeah, a big part of what you've done has been to clear these distortions before we can literally switch everything on.
Yeah, it's been fascinating over here that the castles, each and every one of the castles has been on a telluric current, like an energy vortex there. So I said to AnSaRA, well, what if the castles were built there to protect that? They were protecting the land, protecting themselves, but really protecting, it's making me go goosebumpy, truth bumpy from head to toe.
The Knights of the Round.
Yeah, the Knights of the Round Table, these beings, they built the castles there to protect that land and protect the portal from the invaders coming in. Yes, to protect themselves too, but I suspect the primary objective of these castles and these round burrows and things like that we see, and with the cairns there then as energy amplifiers, that they were there actually to one, yes, so we can remember where to go, but at that time actually to protect that space, to stop intruders coming into there. Yeah, it's just too uncanny that each of the castles in ruins that we've passed, there was high telluric currents of energy all coming into those points.
And the dragons,
every single one.
especially with Dragon.
Every single one.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Keep it moving. So when we first arrived in Éire, hope I'm saying it right, we had to connect with a lady who's been really the custodian of the land, and very much through her ancestral DNA. And she took us to this particular, the oldest stone in Ireland, and I will send you where it is because it's very hard to find, and we had to use Google Earth and we had to use coordinates. And it's just on its own in a farmer's paddock, 2 paddocks in. It's got a little typical ring of beautiful hawthorn berries. And it was interesting because she literally had to give Ra permission and myself to actually even step foot on a sacred site and begin working with the lands here. So I guess it just is a way to show everyone who's already here in these beautiful lands how we respect the process. Like we had to get permission from the Aboriginals, the original elders, and we had to go and see Elder Uncle Lewis to get permission to work with Uluru and the lands and the songlines, and we had to go through our own initiation. So in a way, what you're seeing here is an initiation where Ra's third eye and his thumbs had to go into particular spots. And when he comes back, he'll share what happened at that beautiful major druid rock. And he said that the energy literally just went vertical, like as if to almost trumpet and announce his arrival into these lands. And from that moment forward, it was like he got taken out of a straitjacket and was then able to begin connecting. But until then, he had to go through a rite of passage in order to work with the beautiful land, the Emerald Isle.
Yeah, and that's been really quite fascinating because the same thing happened in New Zealand, living there for 23 years, that there was a connection with an old Maori elder that opened up when we connected from Sacred Heart Space to Sacred Heart Space, that there was welcoming to the land to be able to then co-support in creating the opening up. The same thing happened in Australia, Ulumjabi, when I met Elder Nissan in Byron Bay. Until that point that we had met, it was like I was in a straitjacket until I meet any of the wisdom keepers of these lands, until we have a heartfelt connection.
And you and Adam really had to put in the hard yards, going and staying with Uncle Lewis, taking food and offerings to them, before then Adam and yourself could step into that space of activating Uluru and all the sacred sites that we got to work on. And it might be worth mentioning how doing that saved us 50,000 kilometres.
Well, it did, yeah. When Adam, who's on the call there, when Adam and I connected with Uncle Lewis, it took a day, for Uncle Lewis to tune in to both Adam and I to really get a connection, to really start to open up. And it was beautiful being invited to stay on his sacred lands there, where he lives very, very simply, in very primitive, conditions, totally off of the grid. And in that heartfelt connection that he had with us, when I shared with Uncle Lewis and I said to him, I can see that we've been brothers in a past lifetime and timeline. He said, yeah, I know. And I said to him that I'm back to help support and work with the Origine. And he said, yeah, I know. And I said to him, I'm sorry that it's taken us so long to come back as star beings. In their Dreamtime stories, the originals spoke of star beings, star seeds coming back that would dance the Milky Way, that would come back to planet when the time was right to help the evolution of all sentient beings. I thought it was going to make me cry. And Uncle Lewis was crying. He had tears in his eyes as we had this connection, and I apologized that it's taken us so long for all of us star seeds and star beings to come back, to really start supporting everybody back into that unified field of consciousness. And in that connection that we had, Adam and I, with Uncle Lewis, we were traveling all around Australia at Spiritual Name Ulamjabi, along following all of the song lines, working with the originals there. And in that connection piece, Uncle Lewis then saved AnSaRA and I, probably journeying another 40,000 kilometers following these song lines. He just did it. It was like, boof. As the wisdom keeper and keeper of that consciousness and the Dreamtime stories that Uncle Lewis has from the originals at the Ice Age and from the points of creation that the originals have, and Uncle Lewis was sharing with us at the point of creation how our beautiful divine planet was created, and during the Ice Age how they had to go into the inner earth caverns and portals to survive the Ice Age, to keep warm with the magma. They've got the Dreamtime stories of being there. So when we know the beginning piece and we know where our end piece is, we have a great opportunity then to work with these beautiful divine custodians of the land, and the originals being the original beings on the land. That's why they're called the originals. That when we come to all of these sacred spaces, and then to Egypt, when we worked there with beautiful Yusuf and Saeed, our guides and wisdom keepers in Egypt, with that beautiful divine connection we had again, it took the straight jacket off that I had, where I had no permission to work with the lands. But in that heartfelt connection that we had again, there was a soul recognition, and then I could work with the lands. We had the same thing in the UK with a beautiful Druid wisdom keeper, Sarah. And then over here in Éire too, when we had a beautiful divine connection again with a keeper of the consciousness of the lands, another druid. Before I could go into that stone circle, I didn't have permission to go in. I had to ask her in the couple-hour conversation that we had over some lunch, does what I'm sharing with you resonate with you? Do you feel that heartfelt connection of why I'm here, to be able to work with the lands, and do I have permission to come in to work with these spaces? And she said yes, and then I had permission to come in and start to work with the land. So wherever we are and wherever we journey next, when we go to South America in April, May, and then into India in November, there again will be the synchronicities of meeting the right people at the right time that hold the consciousness to enable us to come in and work together. It's beautiful. It's how it's meant to be designed.
This journey that we're on has really helped us and everyone that's connected to us understand that synchronicity thing, because we met the Druid lady, Sarah, on the train. We got on the carriage with her and she talked about her health, and then Ra connected, boom. And then the other lady was also out of the blue. I'd been following her and I knew I had to reach out to her. And then lo and behold, we had to book in, we thought, to Newgrange, couldn't get in, all booked out, mucked up all our plans. You know, a rejection is a redirection. So then we head to Lock Crew, and then while we're there, we're booking into the Hill of Uisneach, the heart of this beautiful Emerald Isle, Éire, and it's geographically the heart, the umbilicus, and the axis mundi. The only tour we could get was on Friday night, 6 to 8 p.m. We thought, oh, that's crazy, let's just book it. And that way we can organise everything around it. We were meant to book that one. We were meant to go at that odd time because the tour guide was the beautiful custodian of these lands. And that's that synchronicity of just going with the flow, letting go of the plans that don't work, going with the next one. It's all orchestrated, you know, it already is. Yeah.
And she felt the same thing too, Helen.
She's amazing.
The guide
Wait
there
to
and
meet her.
wisdom keeper of the lands that take people in the connection piece of the journey there through the umbilicus, and that she knows and feels within every cell of her being the importance of her being there, the respect of the land and keeping the land in the circles open for any one of us to come and visit.
She actually activated the umbilicus, and we walked out into the ground, and she used this magic water we bought from the magic lake in Egypt, and she knew she had to spray it, and she had it, just like being a druid, she had a long stick, and she was literally on the ground, her whole body shaking. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Like, people here have something particularly special with their DNA leading back to the Celtic druids. That's why we're wanting to work here. That's why we're wanting to connect with you and really also activate our own ancestry, because wow, is all I can say. I can't wait to meet Helen. Yeah, she's amazing. Let's pop back to slideshow and just see. She didn't like her photo taken, and she couldn't make it this morning, but she's here with us in spirit, and I'm sure we'll get her to come on. And here's some more custodians when we were at Skellig Michael, like David shared with us. Incredible. And you can see the couple in their green, well, they're not a couple, they're in their green vests. They actually, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off the island, they are actually the custodians. They had the DNA to look after land. They came, they connected to us. They totally got everything we were saying, and again gave us permission to work.
Yeah, and in that permission piece of asking them, can we work with the sacred lands here, and them saying yes, and I asked them, are you willing and able to step into that space of maintaining then that full activation in Skellig Michael with the Stargate there? They both said yes, and when I've been tuning in since we were at Skellig Michael, when would that be, about a week, 10 days ago?
Last Friday.
The portal, the Stargate there, and the portal in small little Michael has been open and active all the time. So it's no surprise when we have two very, very conscious beings that are spending 2 weeks on, 1 week off there, now maintaining in the conversations that we had with them that beautiful Stargate to be open and keeping all of the energy clear. So it's just, it's remarkable when we come around to these spaces and meet the custodians there and impart some of our knowledge with them and ask them, are you willing to take over, not just on the physical side of the custodians, but on the spiritual side too.
And do you want to just mention about the Stargate? That's why I put that picture there for anyone who's super interested.
Well, the Stargate is just to the right of where we see, they call it Michael's saddle, but we're really where the saddle is, just here in the top right corner. So the Stargate entry point was on the top here. Yeah, it was right on the top here, linking down to the right-hand side, just where we see this person on the right-hand side with the blue jacket, down to the sea, as it touched the sea. Yeah. So
the opposite side to where the tourists, if you've been out there, it's the side they show you that's very steep, where Rey on Star Wars Return of the Force, where they filmed her coming up that side. That's the side of the Stargate.
That's the side. So they showed you in the film, but we can't access that physically because it's fenced off, which is probably not a bad thing, because if you slip there, you'd be in big trouble. Yeah, big trouble.
So the Hill of Destiny, we were only just there this week, and very powerful. We had 650 Ks to travel. We left Skellig Michael, and we had to wind our way again past churches, castles, sacred sites, this beautiful altar stone down the bottom, which actually brought energies from Pyramid Mountains, swirled it in there, went up vertically. You'd probably say it's not a tomb, it's not an altar.
No, I don't see them as an altar or as a tomb. That these have direct connections either into the grid or the telluric currents from planet, or into very prominent pyramid-based mountains on the side. So they're all about moving energy, from one place to another place to keep that connection. So for me, I don't see them as tombs. They may have over history found some rocks in the bottom right, some bones in those areas, but that wasn't their ultimate piece. That wasn't why they were originally created. It's not. For me, when I'm playing and seeing the energies there, it's actually about moving the energy around, directing it into one central point and fanning it out, or fanning the energy out as it's coming down galactically through higher dimensions into the physical plane. Yeah.
Down that bottom left was really interesting. I love being, like all of us, with Ra on a sacred site, because he is always walking the path least trodden. Everyone would make a beeline to that figure of 8 ring fort. No, not Ra. He went straight over to that Celtic cross, and that beautiful stone consciousness there said, a very slow voice. The rock consciousness is very slow. Do you want to say what it said? And that it looked through your records?
Well, connecting to trees and rocks, they talk very deliberately and very slow, as you can imagine, because they grow very slow. They move very slow, and it was beautiful. When we come to sacred sites, the first thing we do is make sure that we are clear, that we don't have any dark energy around us or in us or through us, that we're holding high consciousness. And then I ask, which way am I being guided to enter a sacred site? And it could be completely the opposite way of where the gates are directing the normal foot traffic. And AnSaRA and I had to go up to that cross, and I had to put my hand on it, and I could feel like its life force within there starting to emanate, and it asked me, how do you wish to connect with me? And I was like, that's a good question. So then for me, it was practice what I teach in being heart-centered, being in my I am space, my pink diamond that the fairy and fae kingdom put in our heart centers, and connected from my I am space to its I am space. And then when I did that, it said to me, I recognize your DNA. And it said to me, I didn't feel that you would be back. It was like it flicked through records going back from the fall of consciousness 20 million years in the come from the land to know, we were going to come back 20 million years later to help resurrect all of these trees again, to bring back in large cycles of space-time. We're talking 20 million year cycles of time. So we're going to be enjoying on this planet, whether we decide to come and incarnate back again in my reality, we're going to be enjoying 20 million years of an upward ascension cycle. So that's good. So a lot of people have said, they don't want to come back onto planet because sometimes it can be a little bit difficult navigating the third dimension when we're very spiritual. But for me, I would come back as many times as my soul spirit or essence or source creator consciousness or cosmic mother wants me to be back here, because we're going to be enjoying this golden age for 20 million years. So that's all right. Feels good, doesn't it? To be on a planet where there's love, respect, well-being, peace, heartfelt connections with the land and how we utilize it, and the free energies and everything that we've seen that's out there is going to come into realization here on the planet as the old systems do fall away in the time that they fall away. Yeah, so that excites me. So the rocks, when we connect to the rock consciousness, they have messages for us, and it was beautiful in the piece when AnSaRA connected to the Stone of Destiny, because when we entered into the Hill of Tara, when I connected with the Stone of Density,
Destiny.
Destiny, it was unfortunately connected into one of the royal palaces there in Scotland, so we had to energetically disconnect that, remove it from the patriarchal person that wears the gold hat in the UK that perceives they have power over indigenous or lands and things like that in their third dimension. And when we disconnected that, there was an almighty energy that flowed through the Stone of Destiny, as that energy that was being loosed into the UK was disconnected. When it was then fully aligned back into the consciousness of the divine feminine, there was that linking back into that divine feminine consciousness.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
And it was like, it wasn't me asking AnSaRA, it was like calling of consciousness from source creator consciousness, because the tone of my voice changed. I could feel my whole presence changed when I asked AnSaRA, are you ready, willing and able to hold this space? Someone has to hold this space with high consciousness, not better than anyone else, but we all have different roles to play. And there was a reunification there in the emerald crystal hearts in Éire here, in the emerald crystal heart that was created etherically around these sacred lands. And there was an umbilicus too through the stone up into higher consciousness and down right the way through the center of planet 2. And it was one of the most
Mm.
magnificent things that I've experienced, and we do experience a lot in these spaces. But to know then that the destiny of where we're going is now set in stone, in higher consciousness, in the highest of highest consciousness, that those lower beings can't access, that our destiny has been placed in the highest aspect of consciousness for it to be fulfilled now. And that's why coming here to these sacred lands has been so important, because of the energetic architecture from the stones and where they're placed in these places, and our understanding of the Hill of Tara. It was where meetings would come. You know, people would come to have meetings to set in stone then their intention and where are we moving. So we set in stone that we are moving to 12th dimension infinite pure love, and that was set in stone and anchored into the higher consciousness. Pulling it away, those threads from the people that wear the golden hats that perceive themselves to be in power and are trying to stop this.
And to me, being on the equinox, we literally arrived on that travel like rally car navigators. And when we got there, we had 15 minutes till sundown on the equinox. And Ra had said someone will be there to meet us. And he shook his head, and he said it'll be some high priestess. Anyway, lo and behold, a woman was completely dressed in black. And it was very symbolic because, of course, if you could see my aura, I'm completely dressed in white. And being in the equinox, you know, half light, half dark, that duality, you literally had to like hold that space while she was blocked from, because her frequency just wasn't there.
It was at the stone right when we were
When we
come up
arrived.
to it. Yeah, she was there. So I had to remove all of the dark energy, what she was trying to put into that aspect of light before the sun went down. Block
It
her.
was so close.
It
that
was
like, get there.
yeah, we had to drive like crazy people to cover 600-700 Ks to get to that point at that time, and reunify us in that aspect.
Get the timeline right into the light. So that was just the most synchronistic, amazing moment that was shown from the divine feminine, the cosmic mother perspective, that the cosmic mother is back. So don't think it's me. I'm just a representative of holding that space for all of us, stepping from divine feminine to cosmic mother, to that archetype of that double-sided coin. No more fluffiness. The cosmic mother is like Athena, war and wisdom, is like Kali, destruction, death and life, you know, creation. So that we're really stepping into very powerful times of what the goddess Danu and Éire, all of that cosmic mother energy is what this represents, not me. Don't get it wrong. Okay, so I just wanted to redefine that, because it's a space now that's opened up.
Someone has to hold the architecture on planet, and then it's no surprise that AnSaRA is a master at activating the physical and non-physical form and releasing 100% of all of the consciousness contained within all of the organ structure to switch on all of the luminesceries within our whole nervous system to be able to hold a quintillion densities.
What we call enlightenment.
A quintillion densities, 1,000,000 billion densities is the maximum that we can hold in a physical form. A quintillion. Someone has to be able to hold that architecture. Someone has to be able to practice what they teach in the thousands of clients that AnSaRA sees. So we're no different, but someone has to hold the architecture for everyone else to be able to step in the architecture. That's just how it is on
the arrowhead
on planet.
And it's not real comfortable getting there, I can tell you, but we won't go into that today. Okay, we need to move on.
Let's keep going. Yeah, because our beautiful helpers are saying, come on, we want to get into the meditation, because they're holding space for us. Okay, so last beautiful one. Yeah, here we go.
So you can see why I said the Hill of Uisneach, as I was corrected by beautiful Helen. And on our journey today, we're going to go to this stone. So I really want you to look at this, often called the cat stone. But what was particularly highlighted to us was, why was it called the Rock of Divisions? Being the geographical centre of Éire, it's where all the provinces fanned out from. So there was a reason for that, but why use the word division? And even Helen said, before we even brought up the conversation, she goes, it's the stone of unity. She says, I won't call it that. And then you want to just take over talking about what happened when you and her put your hands on that rock of sovereignty, the middle bottom picture.
Yeah, so down the bottom here. So when we were there on the connection with the sacred lands with Helen, the wisdom keeper, and the custodian there, she put her hand on this rock of sovereignty. And when her hand was on there, I knew that there would be an activation with Helen and I, that there would be a co-creative space. So I had to put my left hand on the rock at the same time that Helen had her right hand on there. Because for us, you know, it is all about being sovereign. You know, that we're not under maritime law or any other governance systems which is set up for the 1%. So when we connected into that rock, I could see Helen like shift a little bit, as there was a co-creative space in that central piece here on these sacred lands. And it was interesting because when that happened, Helen then spoke about the rock of unity and the whole rock and consciousness there being the 24th dimension in the top right corner, which is unity consciousness, the mix of the blue tip of the flame, the white middle piece of the flame within us, and the orange part of the flame. When we mix those three dimensions together in our heart center, unity consciousness. So unity consciousness was set there in stone for these sacred lands, for everything to come into unity. So we have an opportunity then during this meditation, which will begin shortly, to start to thread out in these lands, whether it's in a physical, non-physical form, unity about bringing that together. And when the time's right, we'll have an opportunity to spread that unity consciousness around the planet from that sacred portal point in those meeting points of the provinces here.
I love that what you're saying, and remembering the Druids and the Celtics and the ancients that put these stones, that what they were helping us to do was obviously to know where to go, and when you can connect, be given the directions, and here we are now. And so I love what you're saying about set in stone. It brings the significance of rock consciousness stones to really understand the power of what we're working with is incredible. And so thank you for being able to channel rock consciousness, which is really you really do bring that knowledge forward for us to be able to access the Druid wisdom within each and every one of us, and particularly those who live in these lands with the DNA now. Thank you for coming on the call.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So I just wanted to give you an idea on where we're going to be journeying during this beautiful meditation and activation of these sacred lands, and to help remove some of the trauma that has bestowed these lands. So up over here, if I can point to it, just over here, I shall get a picture and put it into Starseed Ascension School. There's a rock cavern there which is shaped vertically and horizontally where it is true. And within this rock structure, if you tune into it, there's a beautiful pyramid rock that has been placed within there. So it's like a beautiful cavern entrance where we have a horizontal piece to the rock and vertically aligned sides to it. That is a drawing piece for us to begin in our beautiful guided meditation and activation in and through these sacred lands, to help remove the trauma cycle that was bestowed upon the Druids and those that call these sacred lands home in their physical form. There is a trauma wheel that's connected that I could see, and tune into this space. If you're in your I am spaces, breathe yourself into your heart center. Breathe yourself into your I am space and your pink diamond contained within that etheric flame inside your heart centers. And if you tune in to the distortion in the energetic flow that runs through those that call these sacred lands home, you may see, as I do, connection, a wheel of energy coming out through the front and the back of the heart. And then the wheel is then traveling down towards the sacral chakra, which is orange in color.
Remind people not to take it on.
And then from that space there, it loops around into the base chakra like a figure of 8 with 3 circles. And it's only an observation in this space. When you're in your I am space, you won't connect into that space or draw it into your consciousness. It is just a trauma cycle that was set into the beings of these lands to try and prevent them from healing of what's gone on, to try and keep within their space an aspect of separation rather than an aspect of unity. So take a deep breath. And let's go and journey and have some fun and play in this space of removing that.
Yes, we do it. Straight away.
So let's start by beginning at the Hill of Uisneach. So be within your I am space, and you can just hear the resonance with the words that I am at the Hill of Uisneach.
And just take a breath in. And as you do, just really tighten up your body for a moment as you breathe in. And then on the out breath, relax your body. Allow the weight of your body to sink into the chair. And just as I say these words, make them your own. I am in the organic divine blueprint of my pink diamond within my sacred heart space, in its infinite, eternal, living light, love, and sound frequencies of Source Creator and Cosmic Mother. And just take a breath in. And just feel yourself, see yourself within your golden Merkaba, your light vehicle. And just saying the words, I am in the 24th dimension, divine unity. And just feel us all coming in as galactic star beings, all within our golden Merkaba, as if we've all come together on a big golden platform of light. And just feel that golden platform of light moving us all to the geographical center of this beautiful Emerald Isle of Éire. Take a breath in. And as we hover down, we see the emerald glistening land below us. We can see the fairies and the elemental and the rainbow sparkles that emanate from this enchanting land. It's beautiful. We can now see that gigantic tree, that grandmother tree off in the distance. She's so huge and magnificent. But we have work to do. She sent us on this journey to help heal the beautiful peoples of this land, their ancestry, the land itself, all sentient beings and realms. As we begin to hover down, we're being taken to a sacred road, a road that was travelled by the high kings, by all who came to the Hill of Uisneach. And just feel as you're hovering down and that golden platform is coming to this beautiful straight road, a grove of trees. And I want you to choose how you wish to travel. You may stay in your Merkaba, or perhaps you're feeling playful and elemental and you wish to call forward a unicorn or Pegasus. Or perhaps you're feeling very kingly or princessly and you wish to be in a carriage as used to go down this road. Perhaps you're swooping in on your dragon or you're taking on your fairy elemental self. You could be a dragonfly. So you choose. Just be within your sacred heart space and ask for return to rightful owner. I am collecting up all of my body parts, my wings, my jewels, my scepters, any part of you that belongs to your soul incarnations when they've been the most powerful as a druid, as a Celtic, as an elemental. In your magical way as a soul, you can pull that forward as a galactic star being. You choose. Just take a breath as you tune in and ask. And the beautiful dragon Éire, she's also come in. So if you feel you're getting aboard her in her glistening emerald green, you may already feel yourself on her back. And it's like a beautiful parade as we move down this sacred road and we're heading to the High King's Fort, the Ring Fort, and we can see off in the distance. And we can hear the music, the fiddles, we can see the smoke rising, marking that beautiful centre, that royal centre as we move in. And as we move in, we just sweep through in an anti-clockwise direction. We look down upon the ancient beings who are waving to us and we call them in. We say, come join us. We call upon the ancient ancestors of the land, the Druids and the Celtics and the Margie Grail kings, the high kings, the queens. In their organic divine blueprint, we call upon the Danu, the Tuatha, in their infinite eternal living light, love, and life force aspects and sound frequencies of Source Creator and Cosmic Mother. I immediately feel the presence of the beautiful God Lu in his infinite eternal living light and the beautiful goddess Danu. Take a breath in as you connect to their magnificence. And they are leading the way. They are already aboard beautiful dragon Éire. And they're so happy that we're back. And they wish to take us on a journey up to the highest point of Uisneach, this beautiful hill. Take a breath in. There's something that you can see in the distance. A mighty pillar of light. And you can hear the sound of it. It's different to all other pillars of light. It's pulsing with plasmatic light, like free energy, Tesla energy, piezoelectric energy. You can hear it. It's bzz, bzz, bzz. The power of this land is palpable. You can feel the hairs on your body, on your head, beginning to stand on end as we come as close as we can to the highest point. And we very auspiciously, with a lot of reverence, stand in a circle around this plasmatic light, outstretching the palms of our hands. Cleanse, clear, and activate your heart chakra and your hand chakras and your feet chakras. And just switch them on to 100% of their full potential. That's it. Really connect. I am connecting to the power, the organic divine blueprint of the Hill of Uisneach. Take a breath in. And Lu and Danu are already beginning to take off, directing us in a sweep down the hill. And we can see down the hill a 20-foot high rock monolith. And as we draw closer, we can see the rock lighting up in its golden and colourful forms, many rocks in a jumbly configuration. And as we all settle down to the ground, just feel ourselves hovering down. And you're being asked to dismount if you're riding your dragon, your unicorn. And we're beginning to join a single file. And you can see you're being beckoned in by the custodian of the lands, dear Helen. Helen, who represents the goddess Éire, of which the legend of this rock is she is buried beneath the rock. So just take a breath in to your pink diamond and imagine a beautiful golden bridge connecting from your pink diamond to Helen's pink diamond, and then connecting as you turn around to this magnificent rock of unity. Take a breath. And as we come around to the face of the rock, you can see this golden rock lighting up. It's horizontal, rectangular, sitting right in the middle. And you can see a handprint lighting up in gold just for you to recognize your DNA. Just imagine as you step forward, take a breath in, be within your pink diamond, and send the energy from your pink diamond like golden liquid light down through your heart chakra, through your right shoulder, or it may be your left hand. You tune in. Look at what shape the handprint. Is it asking for your left or your right hand, or both? And just gesture and put your hand upon the rock, marrying it up to that beautiful handprint that's glowing in front of you. And take a breath in. And you hear a very slow, deliberate voice. Welcome back, dear one. We have been waiting for you to activate this rock of unity within yourself, within the lands, within others, your family, those that you meet. You hold the magic of unity, of love, of peace. Take a breath in. And when you feel ready, thank the beautiful rock of unity. Give gratitude to our divine ancestors guiding us on this day. Give thanks to Helen stepping forward in this moment to make this all possible. And as you've been doing that, Master Ra has been working away diligently, and we are now ready to journey on. So just imagine you're turning around and there's a beautiful circle of steeds awaiting you. And you may be moving now onto Éire, the big dragon of these isles, or your own dragon, or becoming your own dragon being. Just tune in, you'll know. And take a breath as we all mount up. And just picture that beautiful golden platform lighting up, elevating up above the Hill of Uisneach. And you can see the stone of unity glowing in gold. And you see it beginning to ripple out in that beautiful symbol that's so familiar of these lands, that spiraling out. And you're watching it grow from the inside of this beautiful Hill of Uisneach, down below, above, and out. It is going right out to every edge of this beautiful land. And as we elevate up, you see that golden light tracing around the outer edge of Éire. Take a breath in. As we elevate up, see the unicorns and the dragons leading the way into the portal and the tree to clear the chakra distortions. Take a breath in. And we very quickly begin seeing that beautiful tree, and she wants to tell you her name. Just tune in from your pink diamond to this beautiful, what we know as Ben Bulben, now has a new name today. She wants to be known for her soul name, the soul of this grandmother tree of these lands, of the heritage of these lands, of the heritage of the goddess that birthed the consciousness into the Tuatha, the beautiful Druids, the Celtics, and the beautiful people of Éire today. Take a breath in. You may already have heard her name. Her name is Danu. And just feel that connection as you're flying in now towards this beautiful giant mother tree. And just see, like what you're seeing behind us, that you're flying in towards that beautiful horseshoe. And imagine as we're sweeping along the face of the horseshoe and we're coming past and we're ready to enter that portal. that Master Ra is preparing for us, and we're just in a holding pattern.
Just see the crows before we go through the portal, leaving that area. Just see the consciousness of those lower form density beings leaving, as if being carried away by the natural elements in the air, like a big puff of wind. They see that coming out of the beautiful divine dragon's mouths, helping to clear that space for us to enter. So in that portal area, I can see the unicorns and dragons. They're sitting within that space, beckoning us to come forwards. That space within beautiful Danu. I can see that aspect and of the tree coming to life, as if its calling of its name has resurrected it. It's like when someone calls your name, there's a familiarity. It's like, oh, is it me that you want to and wish to connect with? And we do. I hear Danu saying that I have an energetic disturbance in my energy field that is preventing that unity consciousness and that 12th dimension infinite pure love to be fully utilized within the physical and non-physical land masses. And as if by magic I see, and let's send in all of our divine helpers to help clear that. I see all of the beautiful unicorns in showering all of their beautiful light codes, the dragons illuminating the way with their fire breath, the royal star lions, the elemental kingdoms following with their protectors out front. I see the avian race, dolphin collectives, the merb beings, all beings of the infinite eternal living light, love, life force and sound frequencies of Source Creator and the Cosmic Mother that can help support us in this present space-time moment. We call in. As they enter through that darkened passage, you may see it all illuminating in this beautiful divine cosmic light. The beautiful tree as it is erected in its etheric form, you may notice that there is an adjustment required that we have spoken about. There is a loop of consciousness there from the heart chakra, the 4th chakra, to the 2nd chakra, orange, the sacral, and looping back around to the 1st chakra, the base. And our beautiful divine helpers, with many of us on their wings, as it is circumventing and navigating around that double loop, it is clearing that energetic framework in unity consciousness, where we are bringing back that oneness. There is an exit point on the other side of Danu. In mythological stories, it has been spoken about
As Ben Wiskin.
as Ben Wiskin. That is the exit point for us to enable to remove this energetic frequency and vibrational distortion. And let's just see all of that old, darkened energy, frequency, vibration, and consciousness leaving Danu, being cleared wherever it needs to be cleared, never to return. I see like a beautiful telluric current, like a vortex from the lowest dimension, from the 1st dimension, through the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, all the way up through dimensions of realities to clear that energetic distortion and framework. There it goes. as it leaves the framework and the template held within Danu. See, sense and feel as it leaves all of the beautiful custodians, past, present and future of these sacred lands. As it clears out of their left foot, out of the sole of the left foot, and remnants out through the navel chakra. See the genealogical tree of life standing back upright. See that sparkle and the glow, the colour of unity consciousness, a beautiful golden fairy dust, sparkling consciousness, emanating throughout the whole aspect of Danu and all of the beings on these sacred lands. Those that wish to receive it in unity consciousness. For in unity consciousness we not force any of this aspect of this acceleration of consciousness into anybody. If they wish to receive it, they receive it. If they wish to receive it at a later space-time moment, they receive it then.
And I can hear the sounds of Danu playing the harp, the magical harp, the symbol of Éire. So just imagine, instead of the trumpets in the heavens, that here we have the sounds of the magical harp. And imagine those sounds like musical notes coming down through the tree, the mountains, through the streams now, flowing out to all the streams in Éire. Feel those magical notes floating out through all the elements, through the ether, the wind, the beautiful wind sylphs coming in and spreading that harp sound frequency for healing for the people and the land in that beautiful spiral, going right out beyond Éire, because that sound frequency will be heard far and wide through all realms and dimensions. The sounding that we are back, Danu is back, she's resurrected, she's resurrecting her children. All her children, sentient beings, elementals, everything your wildest imagination can imagine, just like the Avatar movie, the colours. That mycelium network is now coming to life. Let's send that beautiful harp music as if we're all playing a harp. And imagine we're playing it into all the roots where the forests used to be of this land. And we're just using those beautiful sound frequencies to communicate to all the trees of this land and beyond this to all the soul trees on our planet. That Danu has arisen, she is awake, she is back. And take a breath in. And we say these words together. Éire, Ashur, Éire. It is as it is. Take a breath in now as you prepare to bring yourself back into your body, back into the room. Just collect yourself up from any space, time, dimension, wherever you've left yourself. Call yourself back into your pink diamond. And just hold that beautiful space, and you're being sent so much gratitude, and imagine golden karma banking up for you. Well done. To these places, we get funnier and funnier and higher on the energy and actually start sounding like elementals. And when you hear the people talk, especially down in Cork, they actually talk in a sing-songy, the Irish have this real sound frequency, especially when you hear the real tongue, the mother tongue. And when Helen spoke, she doesn't call it Gaelic, she just calls it true Irish. She activated me. So I can't wait till we get some of you magical people on here and actually speaking to us and doing some activations in translation or something, because it is the mother tongue, just like when you hear the Aboriginals, the originals speak, they have the mother tongue, and it speaks to our soul. It activates our DNA, our RNA.
The Maoris
Yeah,
do.
our soul
Like
memory, the
Light
Maoris. Yeah,
language
light
contained
language.
within the
Yeah.
sound frequencies of the words.
God, I'm so excited. Better go climb this mountain. All right. Well, considering, I just want to thank you all, and anyone who's watching the recording, I'm sorry if we mucked up your IT, but I just want to say thank you for bearing with us and coming on today, because this is our first ever big live. And I see an Eileen Bray there. That's my mum's name. Want to come in, Eileen?
Oh, yeah, quickly, I just wanted to come in and say, good Amila Margaret, bring in a little bit of Gaelic, a little bit of Irish. I'm coming in from County Tipperary, which is very close to Limerick. Hi, Trish. And just want to say, good Amila Margaret, agus fáilte go Ash go Éire. Welcome back to Éire. Welcome back to Ireland. And this was go Híntaach. This was beautiful. This was go Háling. Beautiful, agus go Híntaach. Wonderful. And thank you both very much. That is a spectacular site you're at there in Belbolden, Danu. Yeah, good meet Margaret. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, you just gave me full body
and I, me
goosebumps.
too.
But everybody else felt
Feel
it
that?
too. Thank you for
Let's
just
get
being
going.
so spontaneous doing that.
Words of Irish and that's
Wow. Now we just need to crack out the fiddles and get an all meet at Galway, right? And have a bit of a jig in a pub.
We can arrange that too.
We really want to do a retreat here, a spiritual retreat. And we've already met Paddy, the tour guide here. So we're going to do it. I know we have a few places to go that we definitely want to get. Yeah. So Sue Limbira said she got goosebumps all over when you spoke.
Beautiful.
Thank you for
Yeah, thank
activating
you,
us,
Eileen.
Eileen.
Thank you. Good Mila Margaret. Thank you 1,000 times. You know, the land, our language. The language is the language of the land, and the land speaks to us through our Gaeilge, through our language, and it just, even us as Irish people, when we speak or sing our language, our mother tongue, it activates something in us. It's a powerful, ancient, sacred language. So, yeah. So thank you again, Mila Margaret.
You keep
Feel
giving me
it. Yeah.
goosebumps. Love it. All right, we better
it's
wind it
really
up.
all coming out of her, isn't it?
We'll have more of these, and we'll get more of you on. All right. Well, we better let you go, and we're going to run out of battery anyway. So thank you all so much gratitude and love, and just wow. Thank you so much. This has been our first ever live with our new Starlink mobile. So let's look out for more sacred sites. And the weather got turned on. Thank you, beautiful weather gods, and Mother Danu here in this beautiful landmass.
Oh, and then next week, yeah, we'll look forward
yeah.
to seeing you next week. So these are regular World Service events on what's coming up in that moment, whether it's an activation of a space or helping
Thanks, Brenda.
clear anything from the other beings on the planet through unity consciousness, or where we can co-create in this space. So yeah, we'll look forward to connecting with each and every one of you again next Sunday.
Yeah, let's see what comes forward next week. We'll wait until we're guided. Beautiful. Love you all. It was so beautiful. Thank you. And good night to the Aussies and the Kiwis.
Yeah, thanks for staying up late.
Stayed up with us. Thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate that. Thank you.
Sides of the world, and for our new friends here that have come
thank
in
you.
from this beautiful land and from outside the land, wherever you've come in from. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I wish I could say it like Eileen just said.
We'll have to learn.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.